Hello folks, it's the Easter bank holiday. Happy Easter to you all. I thought as it's a bank holiday I'd help you through this free time of yours and I'll do a little special news video for you. And at the end of this video I'm going to tell you about a very special giveaway that's worth over 300 quid. So keep watching to the end, give it a thumbs up, thanks. So the SMMT have released their car sales figures for the UK market for the Q1 now, and the March figures have literally just come in, so we can now take a look at the first quarter. So the UK market's seen a big increase in sales, as we can see here from Automotive News Europe. UK sales jump 18% in March as EV demand reaches new record. So in March 2023, 288,000 nearly new cars were registered in the UK compared to 243,000 in March of last year. Petrol cars are still the most popular, 119,000 of those. Second most popular is battery electric vehicles at 46,500. They're up 18.6% since this time last year. But if you put all together all the different kinds of hybrid vehicle, then they actually beat both battery electric and petrol cars. Diesel, though, only 11,000 of the 287,000 cars registered were diesel. And it really does appear to be dwindling down now. If we look at the individual bestsellers, Tesla Model Y was the best-selling car in March, not the best-selling EV, the best-selling car, full stop. Nissan Juke was second, and Juke's also second on the year-to-date list. I can only think they've put a massive discount on the Juke because, to be fair, there are better cars available for the same kind of price. It's not a bad car, the Juke, but there are better cars available for the same amount of money. So I can't see why you'd buy a Juke over one of its rivals, really. Qashqai at number 3, Sportage at 4, Tucson at 5, Puma, Corsa, Mini, Yaris Cross, Fiesta. Not too many surprises in there, in fairness, apart from that Juke, I'd say. Now, this is the best month of new car registrations that we've had in the UK since 2019. But John Wilmot, the CEO of Lease Loco, said in a note that it would be foolhardy to declare that the car industry is out of the woods just yet, as current reported numbers were still well below pre-COVID levels. So it's recovering, but it's still not up to pre-COVID levels. Manufacturers to face enforced electric car sales targets. Government plans mandate for electric cars to make up a certain proportion of manufacturers' car sales in the UK. So this is going through a consultation at the moment, and the plan is that by 2024, 22% of a manufacturer's cars need to be what they call zero emissions vehicles. Obviously, that means zero emissions at the tailpipe when they're in use, not zero emissions in production. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any. But 22% by 2024, so that means a complete battery electric vehicle or a hydrogen vehicle, I guess, rising to 80% by 2030 and 100% by 2035. The interesting thing here is the government says that by doing this, they aim to improve consumer choice. So by limiting the kind of vehicles you can have, they're improving consumer choice. Only a politician could say that, really, couldn't they? And help deliver on the commitment to end the sale of new conventional petrol and diesel cars by 2030 and hybrid sales by 2035. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. And then we've got this: no combustion engine ban exemptions for e-fuels, says UK government. New petrol and diesel cars will be banned from sale by 2035, with no plans to keep e-fuel powered ICE cars on the market. So e-fuels will be alternative fuels, so synthetic fuel. Instead of petrol and diesel, you're going to have pretend petrol and diesel. Currently, e-fuels are extremely expensive, and there's lots of arguments and noise around the fact that perhaps production of the e-fuel itself, which is going to run zero emissions at the tailpipe, but actually to produce it is more harmful to the environment than using petrol or diesel. But my sort of counter argument to that is that we've got literally millions of cars on the road that are perfectly good and could live a fulfilling life for many years to come if we could come up with an alternative to petrol and diesel. It might be a bit dirty to produce at the moment. It might be really expensive at the moment, but if we invest more in producing synthetic fuels, more R&D, more development work, that cost will only come down, both in terms of the price and the cost to the environment. So it seems a bit blinkered, really, for any government to rule out having that as an option for new cars in the future. I just don't see why they would. Right, this just makes me angry, this one. These stories here are from Auto Express, by the way, if you hadn't guessed. New Ford Capri to become a coupe SUV. Ford have done this before. They obviously took the Mustang name, which has been around for, what, I don't know, 60 years, longer perhaps. It's an iconic car, a legendary car. There have been a few naff ones over the years, but there have also been some amazing vehicles with the Mustang badge on, and it means something. They done stuck it on a very average electric SUV, and to me, it just almost devalued that brand a little bit. They've now got the Capri. I mean, the Capri is an iconic vehicle in the UK, at least, and they're going to stick that on an SUV. Like, I could see if they were releasing a new coupe, like a sporty coupe, stick Capri on it. If you're releasing a really sort of aggressive electric muscle car, stick Mustang on it. Don't stick it on an SUV. It seems like all these years of building up a brand and what it means, they just chuck it in the bin to put it on a bit of kind of, I don't know, something that just leaves you a bit numb. Don't get it. I'm so wound up by that, I'm moving on. Hyundai Ioniq 6 named World Car of the Year 2023. I'm still working on my Hyundai, by the way, which is how we should be saying it according to Hyundai. But, you know, old dog, new tricks, all that kind of stuff. The Ioniq 6 has beaten the Kia Niro and the BMW X1 to be voted World Car of the Year. I'm actually going to drive one of these in a few weeks at Drive Day. I'm really looking forward to that. Added to that, the Hyundai design boss, he's also the design boss for Genesis, one of their other brands, Sang-Yuk Lee, was named as World Car Person of the Year. And you have to say, between Genesis and Hyundai, they've put out some very interesting cars in the last year or two. Right, folks, this is the new VW ID.7 prototype. Think of it as perhaps a slightly taller VW Passat. It's obviously got silly camouflage on it at the moment. It looks like an evolution rather than a revolution in terms of design, but it does feel like it's moved forward a bit. And they note in the article here that the interior feels a lot more premium than in some of the other VW electric cars, which I have to say are just a bit average in terms of the interior. The VW interiors in the last few years seem to have gone down a level compared to what we used to see in VW cars. But I know it's something that the new CEO is looking to address. So it'd be really interesting to see more about this when it comes out. Very limited details at the moment, so I won't dwell. 2024 is going to see a new Ford Puma EV. Not shocking news at all, really, is it? We fully expected that to happen. Puma's been a massive vehicle for Ford. Obviously, they're going to stop making the Fiesta, or they've stopped making the Fiesta, and the Puma EV is likely to replace it on that production line. Right, this is the new Mini Cooper. It's been spied undisguised in LA for some kind of filming. I guess it's probably for the media they're going to use around the launch of the vehicle, but it's the first time we've seen one without any camouflage on. What do we think? It looks a bit of a cleaner design than the last few Minis. It's a little bit less fussy. Something about it sort of reminds me of the Honda E. I'm not quite sure what, but it's got that sort of feel to it a little bit. I'm not bowled over by it, but I don't dislike it either. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's an improvement on the current Cooper S or not? Is it a backward step? Over to Autocar now. Kia to build their small electric cars in Europe. Kia's planning to sell almost 2.4 million EVs a year by 2030. And obviously, they need to kind of spread their wings a little bit in order to do that. And I guess a lot of these small electric cars are going to end up in Europe. So it's the ideal place to produce them. It's just a shame we haven't done more in the UK at the moment to kind of entice some of these companies here to build cars in the UK again, as we used to do, if you can remember that far back. Genesis is trialling wireless EV charging to do away with cables. New tech project uses magnetic field to top up car battery and improve customers' EV charging experience. So much like you can do inductive charging on a phone, or is it conductive charging? We're going to go with inductive charging. You'll be able to do this with your car. You're going to have to get the car exactly in the right position over this charging pad. And I guess in time that charging pad could possibly be sunk into the floor or just be a mat that you lay in your garage or something like that. But the car will know where it is, and I guess it will dock itself. And that's it. You just drive over this pad, park, go away, and the car will charge itself. It was that thing that happened, I think it was in the Netherlands a few years ago, where they actually electrified a bit of motorway. So they were using inductive charging in the road, and cars could charge as they went along. I'd imagine the technology involved is very similar. albeit whether we'll ever see it in roads in my lifetime is highly doubtful, because the cost of that must be immense. And not to mention the level of technology required. Electric SsangYong Torres EVX set for launch with 310-mile range. Now, SsangYong is now known as KG Mobility, which to me sounds like a place where you go to get a Zimmer frame for your nan. Interesting choice, I think. But the Torres looks like quite an interesting vehicle. Big SUV, like really quite a good sized car. And at the moment, in its home market, it works out around about 30 grand. Now, I'm sure by the time it's had export and import and VAT and whatever else can be thrown at it on top, that's not going to be a landed price in the UK. I've got no doubt that'll end up being closer to 40 grand. But at 30 grand, that suddenly looks like massive value. 73.4 kilowatt battery and a front mounted 201 brake horsepower electric motor with 310 miles of range. And there's nothing really competing with that for that kind of price. So if they can, maybe through some cost savings or something, if they can somehow take that 30 grand price and it ends up only being 33, 34 over here, that could be a big hit for them, because there aren't too many compelling options for a big EV that's not ridiculously expensive at the moment. 2026 VW T-Roc will be the firm's final combustion car. That's it, the last ever combustion car from VW will be a T-Roc, and it will be made in 2026. It will then be replaced by an EV version in 2033. Right, on to the giveaway. Folks, the algorithm has been particularly horrible to me lately and hasn't been promoting my videos very well. And but despite that, there are a handful of people that always keep coming back, and there are lovely people that buy me a coffee, and there are lovely people that buy me a coffee on a monthly basis. Now, I've been sent one of these by 𝘾𝙃𝙼𝙉𝙆𝙎. It's one of these lovely big screens that allows you to use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, use Bluetooth in any car. All you need to get that to work in any car is a 12-volt lighter socket and either an auxiliary in or a stereo with a radio. Because if you haven't got an auxiliary input, you can just tune it to an empty radio station and it works perfectly well. This is the size of the beast. Look at that, lovely big screen. And you've got all the other gear with it. They've sent me this for review. It's not a sponsored thing. They've sent me it for review. I could obviously stick that on eBay or something, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is everyone that's bought me a coffee this year, that includes the coffee members, will get entered into a draw. And if you've bought me 10 coffees, you'll get 10 tickets in that draw. If you're a coffee member, I'm going to go back to ever since you became a member, and I'm going to give you 2 entries for every month you've been a member. So if you've been buying me a coffee a month for 12 months, you're going to get 24 entries in this draw. This is worth 330 something pounds. I don't actually know if it's any good yet, because all I've filmed so far is me unboxing it. I haven't taken it out into the car yet, but I'm sure it will be. It looks very good from what I've seen so far. And that would be anyone that's bought me a coffee between the start of this year and the end of April. Okay, so the end of this month. So if you want to have a go at getting this, buy me a coffee and I'll stick you in the hat. If you want 2 goes at it, join up as a monthly member. I'm going to try and do more things like this in future when I get sent products for review. Sometimes I have to send them back, but sometimes I don't. And I just think it's a nice way to say thanks to the people that actually go out of their way to support me and what I do here. So yeah, link in the video description if you want to go on and buy a coffee or join up as a monthly coffee member. If you've already done so, you need worry no more, because I will automatically put you in the draw and I'll announce the winner in the May car news video, I guess. Good luck with that. Have a great Easter, everyone. Please follow me on social media somewhere. On Facebook, it's definitely Not a Guru. On Instagram, Not a Guru Gym. Or Twitter, Not a Guru 3. So I'll pop the thing up on the screen anyway. Please follow me somewhere else. My following is still embarrassing, and probably still only 20% of the people watching this are subscribed. So please do that if you haven't already done so, and click that notification bell. Only about 8% of people have that clicked, and obviously miss quite a lot of the videos as a result. So please do that. Thanks again, folks. See you next time.